Okay, use the graph of figure ABCD and its image figure A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime to answer the question. Suppose that f is the transformation that takes each point x, y to a new coordinate x prime, y prime. Which of the following functions correctly describes the transformation? So the function, we have these options. This is how I go about interpreting this. So what do these mean? So that is a good question, is how do we even read these? So right here, this x to y, the arrow means it goes to x plus 2. So that would mean your original number, your original x coordinate plus 2 units, comma, the y, since it's the same as this y, it means it stayed the same. So how we're going to figure this out is we're going to look at the x and y coordinates for A and A prime, and I think the best way to compare these would be a table. So the coordinates for A are -3, 3. Coordinates for B are -1, 4. The coordinates for point C are -1, 1. The coordinates for point D are -5, 1. And then A prime's point is at 3, 3. B prime's point is at 1, 4. C prime's point is at 1, 1. D prime's point is at 5, 1. So I just listed off their coordinates. Remember that it's x and the x-axis and then the y, so that we can compare them. So then I'm looking at this and I'm going to highlight this -3, and I'm going to compare the x coordinate. So if we were to compare our x coordinates, right here, this was -3, this is 3. So we had -3 changed to 3. We also had for this one, we had -1 changed to 1. This one we had -1 changed to +1. So, and this one had -5 changed to 5. So I'm looking for a pattern on what happened here. What happened to all of the x coordinates? How can you change from -3 to 3, from -1 to a 1, from a -1 to a +1 again, from a -5 to a +5. The only way that I know how to do that is if I were to multiply this -3 by a +1. So if we took -3, multiplied it by a -1, that would change it to 3. -1 times a -1 would give us +1. -1 times -1 is +1. -5 times -1 is +5. So how is that represented? We had our original x on these sides, and they're changing it to, we're multiplying it by -1, and we're just going, and we're using our original x, so that's our x. So -1x is most typically written as just -x. So for the transformation on the x coordinates, I'm going to be looking in this first part for a -x. So that's how I would do the x coordinates. And then I am going to compare the y coordinates. So we had 3 changed to 3, 4 to 4, 1 to 1, 1 to 1. So on this, we had our original y value changed to, it was still the same y value. So on our new function, we could represent this as a negative x. That's what happened to end up with a positive 3 from a negative 3 and a comma y. So we're looking for our original x and y coordinate being mapped to a negative x value and the same y coordinate. Hope that helps.